Congratulations. My name is Einav Avni, and I am trying out new titles for myself. So now I'm going with Emotional Freedom Coach, and all I really want to do is help people release the trapped emotions, release all of these things, blockages that are holding them back, and have a really nice life. Be it with if they're suffering from chronic conditions, having been diagnosed with cancer, or do you know what? Even if they just have no idea how to move forward. So, without further ado, let's start with this podcast today. So, as you see, I am by myself. It's also good. I love it. But today, I want to talk to you really about what to do when you're feeling stuck and angry, so angry that you can't get over it. And the reason why this is coming up today is because I've had a few clients recently that really felt the anger. They felt the frustrations, the anger, the disappointment, the resignation, all of these emotions that come up. And what they tend to do is basically feel the emotions and then just start recycling them. So in no time at all, they lose hope, they lose sight of what is going on, they lose sight of everything, and they just feel very unhappy, very stuck, very frustrated. So these clients call me, and or maybe it's coming up in a session, and now we need to figure out what is going on. How do we, first of all, how do we disconnect from this feeling of anger and as if everything is happening to us, and really as if we are victims? And victim mentality is so hard to come out of, but it is, of course, easier if you are aware that this is where you are at. So the first thing that people are saying is really, and it's really quite interesting, is that it's always about other things, other people, circumstances, and also what they've tried and how nothing comes back to them to help change the environment or change their reality. So, for example, if someone is looking for a job, they would say, "I've tried everything. I applied for millions different jobs. I, rewrote my resume or my CV. I spoke to all of my friends. I basically they're connecting to everything that they've done and connecting very much to the notion that nothing comes back. And then they start, getting attached to the narration, the negative narration that they give the situation. So I tried everything, nothing comes back. What does it mean about me? And also, of course, then they go into the worst case scenario of how am I going to make a living? I have no money. Everyone else is working. I'm, 30, 40, 50, 60, how come I don't have a job? They are starting to find all of the pain points that keep them in the anger and frustrations and disappointment and so on. So this person, looking for a new job, for example, they absolutely right. They probably really did do everything that they could see possible and available to them at that point, but nothing comes back, right? And this is where we come in, because and it's not just about a job, it can be about anything. Whatever is frustrating you right now, apply this to yourself at the moment and see what it is that you're saying to yourself. So people look at the here and now and they say, this is my reality, this is my problem, this is my frustration, this is my anger. Anger, of course, comes when this situation continues for a while. So they look at their reality and they say it's because of this, because of that, because of them. It's all about what is happening and how they explain it to themselves. Now, what happens is that they're looking at things at face value. It means that they're really just looking at the reality and accept that, and then they react to that. So so they say to me, for example, um, you know, my partner came home and said this, and now I am furious. Or, I'm staying with this fury and I can't let go. Or, um, you know, they did this to me. Did this to me. It's a real statement, of course, but it doesn't mean anything to you if you're listening to it. But people really connect with how other people or other situation are holding them back. So what I want to say is that it is one thing to say this is happening to me, and this is what I would like instead. I want maybe people to be nicer to me, or I want more opportunities to come my way, or people are able to sometimes differentiate between the problem and what it is that they want instead. Although most often, really, people are so stuck in where they're at that they don't actually know what they want instead. But that's maybe for another time. So I got an email the other day from someone who was really, 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 really angry because she tried everything. She really tried everything. And everywhere she looks, there's more problems. So it starts with where she's going to live and what she's going to do for a job and what it is that she's going to do with for connections and friendships, what to do with, everywhere she looks, there's more and more problems. And of course, she thinks, hey, I'm very spiritual, I'm very aware, I'm very, up there, but I can't come out of this because really everywhere I look, there's more and more problems. And then slowly, without even realizing, she gets buried underneath all of these reality situations, and she loses hope. She loses, the belief that something can get better. And of course, that's when we start saying, the universe hates me. The universe is against me. All of these kind of statements. And then I come in, and I say, look, this is a problem, and I keep calling it face value problem. It means that you get up in the morning, you're looking at your reality, you're noticing what is around you, and you are immediately responding with these emotions, very, very low energy emotions. Like we said, anger, fear, guilt, shame, frustration, all of that, really, really low. And what I'm saying is that you have to pause, and you have to ask yourself this question. And if you're watching this, please, please, please pause and ask yourself this question. We know that we grow from difficulties and challenges. We know that, right? And I always say the only way to grow from comfort is growing, physically, not spiritually. So if you're being triggered right now, it means that you are basically on the path of growth. And the only thing to do is to ask yourself, okay, the universe could have put a million, billion, trillion different possibilities in my path, but it chose this one, the one that is so triggering for me, the one that is really driving me nuts, the one that I cannot see a way out of. The only question you must ask yourself is, how come this is happening for me right now? It's not to me, because the universe is working for you, not against you. So how come this is happening for me right now? Or maybe it's back then, or whenever you are thinking about whatever it is that is triggering you. So how come this is happening for me right now? What it does, it helps you to park your ego, and then you say, okay, so what is it? What is it that I'm not able to see, but I can start to connect with? I mean, let me rephrase that. What is it, this thing that I wasn't able to see or understand until this was put in my path? And now that it's here, I can start looking at it from the bigger picture, from a more spiritual point of view, rather than this face value thing where I'm being connected with my very low energy and emotions. So all of a sudden, when you are seeing that it's happening for you, you are able to start seeing, how you behave, how you show up. Maybe it's something that you believe that you're not good enough, or believing that other people are better, or believing that you don't have options or choices or power. Maybe you're believing that, things are set, and you can't move them. Maybe I'm repeating my words in different ways, but hey, if that is helpful, then that's good. Whatever it is, you're also able to recognize that this has happened before. So without realizing, you are repeating patterns that you've experienced before. Different times, different people, different stories, but the core of the pattern is, of course, repeating. So all of a sudden, you really, it's like shedding light, like, into something that you couldn't see before. And now, because you park the ego, and because you're opening yourself to understanding things on a different level, all of a sudden you have insights and clarity that you couldn't have before. Now, this is wonderful, right? Because this is the way to grow. This is the only way for you to release this stuckness and fear and frustration and start looking at things in a different way. Now, we can't change the past. Although the other day I was reading something that someone said that we can't change the past, but maybe that's really a different level. But I'm saying, in my current, level of spirituality and awareness, is that we can't change the past and the events that happened, but we can absolutely look at it in a different way. We can be victims and we can say this was done to me, or we can say, okay, like we said, there could have been so many different reasons or ways, not reasons, so many different ways how things could have panned out, but it happened in this way. So how come? How come? What is it that I was doing or not believing at that moment to make it possible? Now, I also know that a lot of the time people with very severe traumas will have some challenge with this kind of thing, but let's not go there. Let's look at something that is on your mind today, that is this kind of understanding will help you to gain this clarity and the insights that we're looking at. So when you understand that these things are happening because the universe is actually trying to teach you something and not a lesson, but just a way for you to grow, then all of this stuckness disappears, it goes by the wayside. It's not relevant anymore because you understand the bigger reason, you understand the bigger meaning of what is happening. So for this girl, for example, I told you I just got an email from, she is looking at her current energy levels, where it's full of anger and frustrations and disappointment and all whatever other negative emotions are there. And she can't see a way out because she believes that she is the one that can change things. Now, of course, it's not about her, it's all about her energy levels. So if she wants to change, she has to raise her energy. She has to move up into other things, like even, hope or allowance or flow or whatever. So she has to really ask herself, how come this is happening for me right now? This will help her to identify where she is operating from resistance rather than flow. This means that she is basically connecting with her mind and thinking that she needs to find a solution that is logical and practical and one that makes sense, instead of following her heart to the things, the path that brings her into flow, joy, happiness, the things that really call her. So if I am sitting here and I have terrible, terrible, terrible money problems, I will try and fix it with my mind. I will not even be open to the opportunities or possibilities that I can lean into something that really calls me. And by doing that, of course, I am canceling the universe. I'm saying, right, that's off you go. I'm in charge. I'm going to find a solution. But that's never the case, right? The universe is here to guide us. We are here, really, we have to remember this, that we are here as spiritual beings, emotional beings, and we are just having a human experience, which means that we are here. Before we came here, we had an agreement. We made a decision. We made a soul plan of what it is that we want to learn in this lifetime. And the universe is helping us achieve it. Now, we are here as humans believing that the universe doesn't like us and that things are happening to us and that we are victims. And what we need to do instead is to say, okay, so I'm where am I blocking my lessons and my learning? Because you were not put on this earth to struggle. You are here to learn and grow. So if you're still suffering, it means that you're not opening yourself up to actually receiving the learning that you came here to do. So I'm saying a few different things, but I'm saying, first of all, you have to recognize that when you are operating from this negative energy and negative emotions, you can't come out of it. It's like you're, I don't know, locked in a bucket and you can't come out of it. And all you do is you recycle the emotions and the frustrations and the anger and so on. For you to start being able to come out of this, you have to stop the resistance. You have to come out of this victim mentality. You have to start believing that there are things out there that are meant for you, and you're able to connect with things that bring you joy and bring things that bring you meaning. These things, think about the thing that you wanted to do when you were 4 years old, or maybe 15, or maybe, I don't know, whatever. But there are things out there beyond bills and, you know, politics and society and all of these things that make us so fearful. So, fear is a very natural reaction, of course. And I don't say ignore the fear. I definitely say you use it, utilize it for your growth journey, for your learning, and basically use that to understand where are your limitations. Where is it that you are believing that something is holding you back? Because the most important thing to do is to remember that you are limitless. Your potential is endless. No one in the world knows what it is that you're capable of. So why is it so easy for us to believe that we can't and that we're not good enough and that things are never going to happen? You see, there's all these contradicting energies. No point. The only thing to do is to surrender and to say, really, this is what I want. This is what feels right. And let the universe worry about it and make it happen for you. Because, really, if you look at it, you in yourself didn't ever create anything. It was all the universe, because it put the right path, the right opportunities, the right thoughts, even ahead of you, in front of you, is what I'm trying to say. So, if you're feeling so stuck and if you're feeling so angry, the first thing to do is to recognize that this is where you are at. You are inside a bucket with no holes, so you can't see the way out. You can't see the possibilities. If you need a moment to have this pity party, go for it. Go ahead, enjoy your time. But then keep in mind that there is no reason even to stay in that place, because this is not it. Even if when you look out, all you see is more and more hardship and challenges. This is still the universe telling you you've paused here for long enough, for too long. Now it's time for you to figure out what it is that you want to do moving forward. I'm not saying use your brain to figure it out, because I don't think so, but it is about listening to your heart. So I told you at the beginning of this podcast that I am trying out a different titles. I've done my coaching course about 7 years ago, 8 years ago. I have no idea. It was a long time ago. And from the very beginning, the word coach didn't sit with me, because coaching for me is something very cold and mechanical, even. And what I'm doing in my work with my clients is very deep. It's very personal. It's very, we go to where we need to go and we release all of this. Of course, with the healing as well, we release stuck emotion and stuck energy, but we understand what is going on, and we move past that. We find ways to understand the meaning of everything. So this is the point, right? If I keep doing things just because this is the expectations, or this is what I've spent so much time studying, this will create stuck energy. But if I'm thinking, okay, I'm leaning into things that call me. So emotional freedom coach, again, coach. If you know a better word than coach that is not a guide, mentor, or something like that, let me know, because I'm very, very curious. But what I'm trying to say is that I'm not scared to try new things. For me, it is about understanding the emotions. It is about understanding how stress and fears actually create illnesses and manifest itself in our behaviors and everything. So this is what I want to talk about. This is what I want to meet you to help you come out of it. I'm very interested in helping people really heal themselves naturally from cancer and other illnesses, because I believe, like I said before, that all of this is only coming here as a message when we are moving so far away from the trajectory for which we came to this earth to be and learn. So for me, it really is about looking from the top down to see what is it that we're doing, where is it that we believe that we are not good enough and limited, and how to change that into acceptance and flow, and I don't know, being able to breathe and feel, just be in the moment and feel. So I've said a lot of things, and I'm going to leave you here. And so thank you very much for watching the live or the replay. If this made sense, wonderful. If it resonated, wonderful. Please do like, share, comment, send this video to anyone that you feel might be needing to hear this. And if this is very interesting for you and you think, hey, I might want to, work together, then please do also get in touch, whatever feels right. So thank you very much. Thank you for watching. My name is Einav Avni, Untangle the Healing. And yeah, you have yourself a wonderful, wonderful day, and see you soon.